Hello and welcome to the NHL Best Bets. Yesterday there were only two games in schedule. We had a pick from both. First one, Dallas, that already lost the playoff battle to Nashville, went to Chicago. Home team was a little bit sharper, and especially their goalkeeper Kevin Lankinen played like he was playing earlier this season. Very well, man of the match, and win for Chicago with numbers 4-2. Very good pick with the high odds plus 160. Then second game, Ottawa in Calgary Saddledome. No home team curse this time and no visitor for any kind of performance. Calgary was clearly better and score was 6-1. Maybe a bit under-like game, but as other team is not playing, then it's tending to be over and a red pick for us. Tommy, how you saw these games?
I think both of the picks were pretty good. The Calgary-Ottawa game, of course, a little bit risky when Ottawa had nothing to play for. Calgary still hanging by the thread and willing to win it, but we expected Ottawa not to score a lot of goals, and Calgary usually does not. This time it was more motivation, more pace in their game for the Flames than they usually have. So they scored 6 goals, clearly over. But as the other team scored only 1, we could have had the 4-1 score easily from this one. But this time it went over clearly. So even if it was incorrect pick, again, something that would be playable again with these odds for sure. And then in Chicago, both teams out of the playoff picture, not a lot to play for. It was a nice performance by Chicago. Dallas did shoot a little bit more, but Chicago played really well defensively and early on took the lead 3-1. So it was looking that because of the situation that neither team really needed to win. The home team got a great advantage from that and nice odds for us as well. Dallas was without Roope Hintz as we predicted, so one of the key players, especially in the offense, was away, which showed that Dallas did shoot a lot but couldn't create a lot of goal-scoring chances, and those that they did, Kevin Lankinen was another man of the match performance for Chicago, so a nice win for them and a good way to soon end the season. They still have one more game to play.
Yeah, these teams are playing again tonight, and that would be last game for both teams. There is not too much playoff races ongoing. West, 4 teams have been decided. Same thing for Central and East. Only open races in the North, and that is also, like we've discussed in the past, bit weird. Montreal is currently sitting in a 4th place. They have 57 points and 2 games left. Calgary has 49, so they are 8 points behind Montreal, and they have 4 games left. So what means that they need to win all of those 4, and Montreal needs to lose both of their games. So a bit not so probable outcome, would say. And also Vancouver has still similar kind of theoretical chances for this 4th place. They have played only 49 games, so they have 7 left. They are currently 14 points behind Montreal, so they have similar schedule as Calgary. They need to win every game in order to go to playoffs. So maybe this will be decided already tonight when Montreal hosts Edmonton. And by winning this game, they would clinch the last playoff spot for this year's Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, this is definitely a test for Montreal because they only need to win 1 game. Or actually, I think it's enough to get points from these games. But still, they haven't played really well as of late, so they could have secured this earlier already. Now they have given the chance for Calgary and Vancouver, who've been very bad in the final stretch of the season. Canucks after they returned from the COVID, so they were pretty much out of everything. But now they still have this tiny chance to make it. I see it mostly very improbable, but as we've seen in sports, everything can happen. So never count out as long as there is a mathematical chance to get to the playoffs. But I do think that Montreal is, first of all, they are the best team out of these 3. and also that they should be able to secure the win because they're playing against teams that don't have anything to play for. Like tonight, they're facing Edmonton, who already is the second place in that division.
Tonight there is a lot of games again after a bit quieter night last night. We have 2 picks here. Tampa goes to Sunrise or continue their series in Sunrise against Panthers. They lost previous one 5-1 few nights ago, and home team was clearly better in that matchup. Now they have still the home arena advantage on stake for this last game of the regular season. So winner will start this same playoff series at home, and Tampa has very rarely plus odds this time. They have it, and that gives good value for bettors for their bounce back game and securing the home arena advantage against Panthers. And another game, St. Louis secured their 4th spot in the West. They don't have anything to play, only the Pride, and same applies for LA Kings. They are out of the playoffs, but they have been playing reasonably well, even though they haven't been able to continue their performance that they had at the beginning of the season. They have still 3 games to go for both teams, and Kings have good value, 131 plus odds for this game. They have played against St. Louis 3 times at home this season, won 2, lost 1 in overtime, so a good matchup so far. And we just remember last season when Kings ended it with I think 8 or 9 game winning streak after they have disqualified from the playoffs before the season was ended in early stages. But this time they will play all the games, and 3 more to go to show that these players are still worth for new contracts next season.
Yeah, let's start from the Kings. A great value in this really close matchup. Like you mentioned, they played 3 times in LA this season. Kings a little bit better in all of those games. 1, 2, lost 1 to St. Louis. St. Louis now preparing for the playoffs already. They have been banged up all season. They've had a lot of injuries. Probably gonna be a little bit easier going against Kings than if they would have a lot of motivation to play, if they would have anything to play for. Now maybe letting it a little bit slide and having a break before the playoffs, because they still have 3 games to play, and the playoffs are already starting in 10 days. So not a lot of time to rest. I think it will be a little bit easier game by the St. Louis Blues. And Kings, on the other hand, now they have Jeff Carter is gone, Dustin Brown is injured, older guys are moving over, and the young guns are stepping in, so they need to show that they belong here, and that's something that adds to the value for the Kings. Hungry team still, and they have a tendency of playing better when there is nothing at line, especially when you have young guys. Of course, it's a mental battle in there, and with this value in the simulations, we do have the Kings 48% favorites to win it. Well, not favorites, underdogs at home, but the odds somewhere around 40%. So great value for the Kings against Blues that I think will take it a little bit easier than usual. Very similar teams, both of these, grinding, very defensive usually. So I think not a lot of goals and very close win for the Kings, but I think they are, with this value, a great pick. And then this battle of Florida Panthers and Lightning. The last game was complete off night for the reigning champions. They lost 5-1 against their rivals across the state. So a very bad game for them. I do think that they are bound to bounce back. And when you get plus odds for Tampa Bay almost anywhere in the NHL, that's something to go for. So this is already a playoff game in a way, because they decide which team gets to start at home. They will face each other in the playoffs first round, so it will be a tough matchup. Let's see how it goes. Tampa Bay has a couple of guys injured, so let's see if they are back or will they be saved for the playoffs to start. But still, Tampa Bay a bit better team than Florida. Last game, chip on the shoulder, so I think Lightning will come bouncing into this game and beat Florida Panthers. in the simulations we have Tampa Bay winning 55% of the game. So the odds of plus whatever it was are definitely good for go.
Then in the West, there is other game. Colorado goes to Vegas, and that is a crucial matchup for the rest of the season for both teams. So if Vegas wins, they have very good chances. I think they will secure the number one spot for the West and home arena advantage rest of the season. And if there's not too much changes, these two teams are the ones that will decide who is going to win the West division this season. Both very good teams and may have also extremely good chances to win Stanley Cup. And then other game where two playoffs teams are facing each other. Islanders goes to Boston. Their home team has some value for bettors, but odds are not very good, minus 140. So if you think that there's chance of upset, you stay away from this East matchup between Islanders and Boston.
Yeah, the way the things have been going for Boston and Islanders, I do think that Boston is a better team and they have now something to play for. They want to keep their third spot. They can still challenge Washington Capitals for the second, but I do think that they're out of that race. I'm not entirely sure how the wins go, but Washington has so many more wins that they are likely the second, and Boston and Islanders are now fighting within 1 point for the third and fourth spot. Which one will take Capitals and which one will get the Penguins? So a tough matchup ahead, but I do think Boston is a better team and they played a lot better than Islanders as of late. Boston 61% in the simulations, while the odds somewhere around 55, 56. So there is small value for the home team here, but like you mentioned, the odds are not attractive enough for us to make a pick. But I do think Boston would take this game and secure their spot as third in that division. And in the West, Vegas, Colorado, of course, a preview of a playoff hockey again. Colorado still has a chance to win the division. They also have a chance to drop to third because Minnesota Wild has sneaked up only 1 point behind with one more game played already for the Wild, but still Colorado needs some points to secure the second spot also. So there is some stakes at play here in this top matchup as well, other than the playoff preview kind of thing. So it will be an interesting game. In the simulations, not surprisingly, we do have value for Colorado because we have not rated Vegas at all, and they've answered by taking the lead in this division. So that's a very tight matchup. We have 64% going for Colorado. I don't think, personally, I don't think that will go as far as Colorado winning, but it will be a close matchup. I do think it's very likely an overtime game because neither of these teams will be willing to lose because this is going to be the top matchup of this division.
And like I said, Dallas and Chicago are playing again tonight. Back-to-back games haven't been very good for Chicago in the past at home. Dallas a bit better on the road in back-to-back games, and this is another game that neither team has anything to play for. But last night, Lankinen was the man. If he's not playing, it might be a good chance for Dallas to bounce back.
Yeah, it's the last game of the season for both teams, so I think they both would want to finish with a positive note. So Dallas was shooting a lot yesterday. Let's see if they can fight off now the goaltender boogeyman of Chicago, whoever there is. Colin Delia is marked to start, so he's not as good as Kevin Lankinen is, so maybe Dallas has a chance to win this. Although in the simulations, it's a total coin flip 50-50 game, so the value would be still for the home team because the odds are somewhere around plus 130 for Chicago again.
Let's see how this back-to-back game goes as these teams say farewell to the season 2021 and continue to the summer holiday. We won't continue the summer holiday, but we'll be back tomorrow and analyze all these games again.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.